Okay, welcome back to No Man's Sky, everybody. We're still doing our base building missions. As you can see, while I was waiting for the flowers to grow, I decided, nah, forget this, let's edit my base a fair bit. So I have built ourselves a much larger room. I put some of those carbon standing planters that we bought in here. I've wired everything up. Lots of solar panels and batteries on the roof, not that we'll need it if we go and find the hot spot, but that will take some doing by the looks of it. It's another video. And yeah, I put some various planters for the rest of our needs. I put our storage containers down in a little corridor here. For some reason that particular storage container would not play along and just be in that position, so I had to go backwards a little bit. I've got no idea why it's done that. Also renamed the storage containers based on what I'm going to put in them all. Yeah, so let's get on with it, shall we? So I've just, before I managed to press record, because I'm an idiot, I harvested our Gravitino orb. So I'm going to go back to our farmer and see what he wants us to do next. Right, okay, so he's giving us the blueprint for the cactus. Now, if you remember, I bought a bunch of the cactus, so I don't really need to go searching for it. So it would be on barren worlds. So it's not the dead world that I was on, but any, like, hot worlds, basically. For the sake of speed, I'm not going to go looking for it, I'm just going to plant. Left myself space? Yes, sir. Okay, it's going to let me complete it straight away because I've got enough of it to do so. 100 it needs. So we didn't have to wait for it to grow there, which is quite handy. Alright, now star bramble. Now again, I bought some of this, but this would be from lush planets. So star bulbs are grown from the rarest star brambles found on lush worlds, unspoilt by war or death. This is why I wanted to become a farmer, to tend to such sublimity. Okay, so we would now be going to a... Oh, TV's trying to turn itself off. We would now be going to a lush planet, or paradise planet, whatever you want to call it, and picking up some star bulb. But again, I've already got some in my inventory ready, so I'm going to place it in there. And we would wait for it to grow, or have enough of it from when we went to pick it on the paradise planet to now complete this mission straight away. So they only want 25 star bulb, which isn't a huge amount. Right, now Mordite root, you know I've got plenty of Mordite, so I should be able to plant that straight away. So Mordite is from killing animals, a death element. So you remember I killed a whole bunch of animals to complete all those other missions. So I've got plenty of Mordite to plant with. Okay, and again, see we're blitzing through these now because I'd already picked up a whole bunch of each of these plant elements. There's no more flying back and forth. So you could really, in theory, before you start doing these farmer missions, go and collect a whole bunch of plants ready and then come and complete them all as quick as we're doing right now, all at once. Okay, so as they discuss their leaving plans, they watch the ceiling carefully. It is unclear what they are looking at. Suddenly Attendant Technin grabs me, telling me not to trust the Overseer, and that their fellow Gek may not even be a Gek at all. They seem to suggest that their food was somehow drugged. But this can't be true. I've shared meals with the Overseer and I am fine. They would never do anything to harm any of us. The Overseer only wants what's best. A moment later, the farmers stop speaking. They assure me they were just joking and beg me not to speak of this matter again. I asked Attendant Technin if they are alright. They claim they are, their eyes glistening in the darkness of the base. See, I'm starting to think that all of my base NPCs are insane. So they're going to stay for now. Okay, so the farmer's no longer got any more missions for me. I have unlocked all the flowers throughout the course of that, so we've also got Albumen Pearl, the Nip Nip you remember I bought from the Anomaly, but I do need Nip Nip buds to plant it, which I can get by doing Nexus missions or from the guild NPC on the space stations sometimes. Yeah, I'll need indium to plant the albumen pearls, which are from blue star systems, which we're not at that stage yet. And with the venom urch and the emerald from the green systems, again we're not quite at that stage yet. There's nothing from the red systems, I don't think. Okay, so that's us done with the farmer. So, who have we got left? Let's go back to our scientist. He must be ready for us by now, surely. Do not think my child experiment is working. They have not assuaged my loneliness, and now I have two consciousnesses to fear for. I am losing myself, traveller. Take my core to a monolith. Let me interface before the Atlas. I must speak to eternity. The Korvax has no memories of my last journey with their core. Then I tried to reconnect them with the convergence. This time they seek the Atlas. They do not know if the monolith grants such an interface or if anything does. Okay.
Alert. Navigational data received.
Oh, before I do that, let's see what blueprint is going to offer me now. Sentinel drones, patrols that never seem to end. I claimed so much from the Earth. Construction logs, personal upgrade module. Oh, whatever it was going to give me, I've already got, so it's giving me a movement module instead.
Ground protection falling.
Okay. Where is the monolith? I'm guessing it's off planet. Or I'm guessing that I came off the thing, didn't I? Die. There it is. Not too far at all. Only 1 second. Okay, so let's have a look. So the monoliths are the ones that have got the 3 knowledge stones around the edges of them. If you haven't got those knowledge stones, then you're at a plaque, not a monolith. Insert core. No cap. Monolith offline.
Thermal protection falling.
Return to the scientist. Okay. Landing pad for my base. Reinsert the core. I passed my test, sharing this joy via the exchange of technology. Right, I finally have my circuit board. So I can continue with the Overseer's quests in a minute. Without a connection to the Convergence, I fear they are doomed to repeat this cycle forever, from the moment they met me in the space station until their collapse into loneliness. Perhaps, if I can find them a Convergence cube, they might be unified with the rest of the Korvax and escape. The scientist deserves this chance at reconnection. They have helped me greatly, and they have taken good care of their beacon. Okay, so it's in another star system, wherever we need to go. Let's acquire a circuit board. So, to make a circuit board, we need heat capacitor and polyfiber. Polyfiber was a bit of cactus flesh and star bulb, which we've grown, and what's this? Heat capacitor. Now, do I not have the heat capacitor on yet? Apparently not. So I guess we're doing a bit more science mission then.
Technology recharge. Orbital station coordinates received.
Okay, it clearly wants me to continue with the Atlas path a little bit. We can do that, that's nice and quick and easy. If I can figure out where it went. Where did it go? Seriously, where? Oh yeah. I feel like it came up and then disappeared again. Oh whatever, let's not bother then. Alright, it wants us to go there. Oh, another space battle.
Hostile ships approaching.
Right. Now, this might be a decent freighter, so this might be a good chance to finally get our freighter. Let's have a look. Just got to make sure we don't attack the wrong people here. Oh, you look like a friend. If you want. The problem with you being there is I can very easily hit the freighter by mistake.
Hostile ships defeated.
Yeah, you should contact me any second. Just say thank you for helping. No? Yes. Alright, it looks like it's only a small capital freighter, but it might do the trick. We'll see how many slots it's got, because that's what's important here, really. The fact that it's a capital ship means it's much more likely to have a decent amount of slots. Alright, 26 and 12, that's literally the worst. The 26 is the worst it can get, but bearing in mind they can go up to 34. But it does seem like the 12 technology slots is the new norm. Alright, it's only C-class, only 26 slots. Oh, these are laid out slightly differently though. The last one was up here. I'm not going to take it. I'm not happy enough with this one to bother taking it. I've got the patience to wait for another. It is quite handy having a freighter. You can store quite a lot on it. Bits that are in your freighter inventory, so there'd be another tab, and the things that you keep in your... Oh, I fixed this by the way, so that it was back to 24. The things you keep in your freighter inventory, if you build one particular tech, the matter beam, on your freighter tech slots, then everything you've got stored in those inventory slots you can access at any time, as long as your freighter is present in the system. So it's really handy. It essentially acts as more storage, like not much different to your exosuit storage. Not ready yet. Right, where's my convergence cube then? Over here. Are we close to the space station? Yeah, let's go buy some stuff from the space station first. Remember, we always want to be, until we are fully upgraded at least, we always want to be going to the space stations, accepting all the missions that we can, and buying as many upgrades as we can. We want to get ourselves as powered up as we can, basically, make the game a little bit easier for ourselves. My main weaknesses at the moment seem to be cold. Yeah, the cold. Could do with another movement thingy. A few weapon upgrades for the ship. Yeah, we'll see what they've got anyway. Right, any decent? It's an interesting looking one, but it's rubbish. Bolt caster and blaze javelin, why not? Bolt caster. A blaze javelin. Have I got a blaze javelin? I don't think I've even got a blaze javelin, so that was a waste. Oh well. Cyclotron and phase beam. So it's worth noting, by the way, that if you haven't got the mod active that I've got, these will not necessarily always have the best stats. They're picked from, this is any upgrade modules that you buy, they're picked from a range of different stats. Now, for the phase beam, the best that you can get is heat dispersion plus 96 and damage plus 28, which is why the mod is giving me that on both of them. But if I didn't have the mod active, or I took it off now, you'd find that these would have totally different stats that would be nowhere near as good necessarily. So again, they're always 3, 3 and 8 to be fair. Where's one that's not always the same? Yeah, so those are usually different, so this is the best possible that you can get for them. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, blaze javelin is one that I didn't have. Let's put you down here out of the way. Cyclotron. Exocraft, nothing for yet. Shield and radiation, why not? It really annoys me that you only get these few slots here. I really want them to expand it at least to 24, if not the full 48. It would make much more sense as the full 48 really, but I'm going to move that in here. So I can do that. Right, normal stone. So these are actually upgrade modules. So I'll replace these two C-class ones with S-class ones as soon as I can. That can remain there. I actually could have left that in here. Unless there's another life support one that I end up getting, I don't know. Right, just in preparation, let's see what they've got for the Exocraft. I might be able to get something decent. Let's have a look. Monitor laser and Exocraft laser, why not? I suppose I can build the Monitor in a second, as I did buy that one from the Anomaly, because you can't unlock that one in the story at the moment. Right, yeah, so I should have gone and added a bunch of missions as well, but I'll get that in 10 seconds. My cat would like to leave the room. Don't just come back in then, silly cat. Okay, so on our way to the Corvax facility. It's a radioactive planet. So in case you can't tell, the main thing that's taking up our time here is travelling back and forth between planets. Most of the actual mission is fairly quick and easy. It's just the flying around that takes up all the time. Okay, we have ourselves a manufacturing facility. Now we can't just walk into these, we've got to break down the door. And you cannot do that with a mining laser. You've got to use a different weapon. In this case, my bolt caster. Let's grab some nanites. Encrypted note that was nanites again. Okay, fair enough. As I approach the terminal, I sense an immense sadness and grief. I hear the echoes of 1,000 souls, entities whose life was stolen from them long ago. Non-convergent user registered. On the display I see a production line of this factory, a vast array of cubes infused with the memories of an entire species. They appear to be caught within an endless cycle of trauma, unable to do anything but repeat their tragedy. The terminal identifies these items as convergence cubes. Right, I came here for a cube, didn't I? So let's try and take a cube. I succeed, but I cannot help but feeling I have committed some terrible crime. Lovely. It's still going, so I'm guessing that isn't like that. A lot of the time when you come into these facilities, by the way, there's a 3 or 4 option puzzle, as it were. So you're always best to use this little save point before you go in case you get it wrong, basically. Otherwise you've wasted your manufacturing facility. I suppose I could have gone to the space station after rather than before. So I'm now going to go there to teleport back rather than waste my warp fuel. Again, it's another reason why we keep going back to space stations, is to hopefully upgrade our ship to be a little bit faster. Okay, so we're back on base. Let's return to our scientist. Stranger, I feel something unusual is occurring. Is this facility shielded in some way so that signals are unable to escape? Okay, Research Entity Pop is once again becoming aware of their isolation. The Convergence Cube may be their only hope. So let's connect the Convergence Cube. I insert the cube. The Corvax is temporarily startled, but soon their lights begin to flash in a familiar pattern. I cannot be sure, but the plan appears to have worked. Forgive me for asking, Entity, but did I know you once? You seem familiar. These terminals, are they of my own design? One machine even called me its parent, attempted to convince me of its love. Oof. I deleted the bug, of course. I ran a proper code base. I did harvest some useful blueprints from its store, however. Would you care for them? Whatever relationship we had developed has gone, replaced only by this cloud of unknowing. Perhaps it was an error. Perhaps this was the true self of Korvax all along. And the one I knew was just a sickness, a distortion. I cannot know. Take care when constructing these objects, Traveller. The plans were created by an error after all. Right, there's my heat capacitor that I needed. Right, so now use my polyfiber and heat capacitor to make my circuit board, which means I can now talk to my overseer again at last. Right, are we done with you? We are done with you. So we have now completed our farmer missions, our weapon missions, and our scientific missions by the looks of it. So let's talk to our overseer. I trust the scientist was able to meet your needs, friend. They have the circuits we demand? As I approached the overseer, I was almost certain I had heard them talking to themselves, spitting out words and phrases in a tongue I recognise but do not understand. But seconds later, there is no trace of the venom I thought I heard. I must be mistaken. The overseer is strange, but no more so than any of the other beings I have encountered. Indeed, they have been more helpful than most. I hand over the circuits and receive my reward. Ooh, a galactic trade terminal, let's build that. Oh, it's not going to let me in. Our friend, you will be so happy with Salesgek, whatever your name is. I have drawn up plans for some starship technology, but I cannot yet sync my design with your ship. I shall need a Gravitino ball to perfect my device. The overseer predicted I would be pleased, and once again they are correct. They have been ceaseless in their efforts to improve my lot. The Gravitino ball is required to finish the promised starship technology. The farmer may be able to help acquire one. You will not regret it, friend. It is good we work together so well. Right. Now, you can't place these on just a normal, boring wall. It needs to be on a cuboid room or a prefab room. Alright, so if I were to delete the doorway at the end here. Let's just do a cuboid room. Put the hollow door back on. And then we've got our trade terminal there. Okay, what's next? The Gravitino ball, yes. Now, rather annoyingly, hasn't grown, has it? Nor have you two. Got an hour left, I'm not waiting around for an hour. So, this is why I came prepared earlier and filled my storage containers. Cheated a little bit here. What I did was I basically accessed my normal save, copied exactly what was in my storage containers over into this save. So, I should now be able to access all of the stuff I had in my normal saves, storage containers. What am I after? I'll build them pearl. Gone too far. Alright, so I hadn't even planted one of them yet, had I? Actually, that's interesting because I would need to be in a blue system to do that. Right, so in that case, that was a Gravitino ball, that's fine. I'm being thick. I'm being very, very thick. Okay. Have my Gravitino ball. course, you can find Gravitino balls on some planets. Sometimes when you pick them, you'll aggro the Sentinels though, so you may need to run once you've picked a few. There is something about the way the Selzgek speaks that, for all their kind words, suggest a resentment saved only for the deepest of enemies. But they would not have come to work here if we were enemies. Of course not. We are friends. As ever, I am so grateful for your assistance, friend. There's something very strange about this thing. Ah, the conflict scanner. Excellent. Right, in order to put that on, I need to destroy a walker and grab his walker brain. Have you ever wondered what happens after death, between expiration and rebirth? Meditate upon annihilation. Harvest Mordite from the dead. It is the only way to escape. Since the Overseer arrived, I've had a recurring dream, a nightmare that feels like a memory. Flesh merged with metal, a world of glass that blinks. Have you noticed how they keep mentioning a world of glass? A planet with green skies and obsidian moon. A dream where I see my grave. As I snap back to reality, there is a moment before I can shake the image. That wound on the world lingering before my eyes. The Overseer asks me to harvest Mordite, a material found on the bodies of slain creatures. Well, we know I've got plenty of that because I killed loads of creatures. The Overseer has served me well. Perhaps this task will free my mind from these lingering nightmares. Alright, I don't actually wish to build the conflict scanner just yet. Let's go back to gathering Mordite, which I have. Please update. So that wanted 100. I've got more than 100 of it already. The mission is updating. Here we go, return to the Overseer. So again, that's one of the other reasons I told you to stack up those kill animal ones, because now we don't have to go on a rampage now, because we've already done it. I can see the change in you, friend. You have completed your task, and I have seen the world as you see it. I do not entirely understand what I have done for the Overseer, but they seem once again ready to reward me for my actions. Here, take these schematics. May the things you build always remind you of those you killed to construct them. He's a charming fellow. Right, geology cannon. So this is the other grenade that you can put in your multi-tool. Again, this one's even more dangerous than the plasma grenade, as this one also destroys the ground as well as any enemies and, you know, yourself if you're not careful. Right, I will not be building that, thank you. Right. We are now, for the time being at least, done with the Gek Overseer. I believe we're done altogether. And they have now given us the ability to craft the Exocraft terminal, which is our last one. So the rest of the base building missions will be the Exocraft. Now I don't have a guy yet, so I need to go find an Exocraft technician. Who it would seem is in this system. Oh, nice. Now this is where the base building missions get super fun. Oh, I didn't build my monitor. I'll build my monitor when I get back. Hopefully I'll remember. I forget if I'd left. I don't think I had left this system. Had I? So this isn't going to refresh yet, is it? Let's have a look. Oh, they have. Okay, fair enough. I must have left. So Scatter Blaster and Bolt Caster. Again, I've forgotten what I had. Can do a Bolt Caster and a Scatter Blaster. Lovely. It's all very well and good upgrading these. I haven't actually built the Scatter Blaster yet because I've not unlocked it yet. What else have I got here? What else? Oh yeah. I've got way too many of these. So at this point, what I would do is I would install them, which will break it, alright, but I would see which one is my worst one and delete the worst one. Alright, so let's say that one was the worst. I'd do that. Okay, again, because my mod is on, that makes them all the best. I can't really see which one's the worst without the mod. I should have turned it off, but oh well. Okay, doing alright here. What on earth did I get cadmium from? From deleting one of them, maybe? Yeah. Well, that's worth knowing. I'll save you some effort with stuff later. Not going to bother with the Nautilon cannon just yet. Nautilon's the submarine for Dreams of the Deep later on. You do want to upgrade your submarine. It's high temperature. Yeah, you do want to upgrade your submarine before you do Dreams of the Deep, otherwise it is rather slow. Right, are any of you A grade? No, you were all S, so I didn't actually need you. You were all S as well, I didn't need you either. I've got plenty of nanites, so I'm not really worried. Okay, let's go get our Exocraft guy. What's your name then? Saganek. I demand a place on your throne world, interloper. Acceptance will grant you the glory of an Exocraft and a Viking mech priest to administer its mass. Pray only that you have an Exocraft terminal sufficient for my skills. Refusal? Refusal will result in my inevitable extermination. Be quick. The technician seeks work, claiming they will be able to build and upgrade Exocraft for my travels. Let's hire you then. You are weak and unworthy of my skills, but I have no choice. I will flee to your vile world. I will become an interloper, which is what they all call me. Get to the quick way than flying down. Saves on fuel. Okay, so these Exocraft missions, again, are easier on Paradise Worlds, so it's always a good idea to try and find a Paradise World before you start these base building missions. Obviously it makes you build the first little tiny shelter quite early on, if you remember, but that doesn't mean that you have to do your base building missions there. You can wait until you found a decent planet that you actually want to make your home before you start doing all this. Okay, before I forget, let's build my monitor. Exocraft. Right, so I've already got the Roma Geobay. Let's build my monitor. Okay, so this is our exomech that we bought from the anomaly, and I'm just going to change its colours around a little bit, make it a bit more interesting. So, okay, not purple. Once you've got some decals and stuff unlocked, a lot of your Exocraft can have those decals on them, but I don't think I've currently got any. Okay, Warrior Saganek has calmed since we last saw them, though I still feel a sense of dread within their eyes, of the paranoia that has sustained them across the stars. Interloper, I will do as I promised. Build a geobay from this schematic, and my Exocraft shall be yours, unworthy though you may be. Now, excuse me, I must ensure this location is defensible, should my people try to find me. So, let's construct the Roma Geobay. So it's giving us the... Okay, so I've built my Roma. It's a bit boring. Oh no, it's not. I've already done my colour design and stickers, which you can add using the red computer just here. Add different designs to the doors and at the back on the engine, and then you can change the colour of the boost at the back. This one is our monitor then. Okay, beautiful thing. I haven't got any technology to add to it just yet, so I'm just going to move these around a little bit. I'll put you down there. You there, why not? Now the monitor is automatically safe from the elements, right? From any weather. So if you're in your monitor, the weather is not affecting you, and you can go and pick stuff up like storm crystals from inside the monitor. It's also got a pretty decent jump function, but as you upgrade it, it gets ridiculously powerful. Like you can jump way into the distance there once you've upgraded a little bit. At the moment I don't seem to have any weapons attached to it, so I can't attack anything with it at the moment, but I will install them at a later date. Well, that was one jump. It took us that distance. Right, let's have a look at my Roma then. Let's move you over there. At the moment, all of the Exocraft have got very specific designs to their slots. In some cases it's very annoying because you don't feel like you've got enough to fit, well, you don't have enough to fit all of the technology in. Now these three are all about making your ship faster or turn better, or so you've got forwards grips, angular grips. Says this one's for your ability to slide, this one's to turn sharply, and this one's to drift. So yeah, you can add them as and when you want. I do believe I got some Exocraft engine, so put you there. Monitor laser, Exocraft laser I'll put there. So I haven't actually built my laser in there yet because I need to do my missions to do it. There's Jackman, I've done that, did I? Get out of this. into my monitor to make it my main one. Monitor laser. Okay, so we got them there ready for when we unlock the laser for him. Okay, so let's talk to our Exocraft guy, shall we? Yes, I have. Right, signal booster. So these blueprints that he's giving us throughout these missions apply to all of the Exocraft, okay, apart from the Monitor XMX thing that you saw and the Nautilon submarine. They've both got their own technologies. Right, so I'm going to build Exocraft signal booster with some chromatic metal and a microprocessor, which we should have plenty of, but if you didn't have it, you can get the chromatic metal from copper, cadmium, emerald, or indium. You won't have the cadmium, emerald, indium yet, just the copper, and refine it in your refiner, if you remember. Yeah, I've just done that, mate. Yeah, I've already done it. Just give it a moment to realise I've already done it. Okay, it's realised. Just edited some terrain with the floor panel there. I'm going to upload. Always upload after you edit any terrain, otherwise it's not going to save it. It'll just regrow again. Okay, now we've got our mounted cannon. So this isn't a laser, it's a cannon. Alright, I need pugnium. Where am I going to put that? Let's put it here. Pugnium and copper. Remember, pugnium is from killing the sentinels, and copper we dig up. Okay. Okay, so we are going in search of... We would be going in search of a depot to get the pugnium from the sentinels, but it would appear because I've already got the pugnium in my inventory, it's not going to make me do that. So let's just pretend that we were going to do that. What we would do is get in our Exocraft, and now that we've made the signal booster in there, scan for depots. Where is it? That general direction. Right, so we would have driven. Oh my lord, this mind numbingly slow at this point. There's my boost. Again, we upgrade these Exocraft to get a whole lot faster. Really, what I should have been doing, as I had the nanites for it, is all these space stations I've visited so far, I should probably have been buying Exocraft upgrades as well and just storing them. You'll notice that the Exocraft break basically everything they drive through. Right, I'm not going to go all the way there that way because let's get out. As I've got some amazing movement on. Let's go there on foot. Or I could even get there. I could have got there on my ship. It would be easier. So yeah, the Exocraft at first seem a bit slow and pointless, but as you upgrade them, they get really good. Let's get there in my ship. I believe this was the closest resource deposit, and it's ages away. So, anytime that you are tasked with coming to a resource deposit, there's plenty of missions that make you do it. Never ever ever destroy them from all the way over here, and don't do it with your ship. Alright, until you get close enough to aggro the sentinels, it is not going to count. Alright, so you'll waste your opportunity to complete the mission if you try doing it from here. Alright, so always get close enough that it says destination reached or whatever. Now I can start destroying it. Again, mining lasers do nothing to it. And we'll get our pugnium from these sentinels. There you go, it's rewarded me with pugnium. And destroy these for some projectile ammunition. That's my ship. Yeah. Yes, that's what it would have made you do if you didn't already have pugnium in your inventory like I did from when I attacked the sentinels earlier when I was digging stuff up. One of the earlier videos, I think that was. Maybe it was. Okay, so now that we've got our pugnium and gold apparently from the depots we destroyed. Right, so he's given me an acceleration module, which will require magnetized ferrite, chromatic metal, and some carbon nanotubes. Also, that's the random stuff. It's also given me an Exocraft. Oops. Oh, it's out of range, isn't it? I'll do it in a second. Okay, I left my consort and spawn behind on my homeworld. My crimes are my own, but I must know what has happened to them. They have sent me an encrypted transmission. You will use the Exocraft acceleration module to reach it before my brethren inevitably delete it. In the process, we can pull mining laser technology from the network. Grah! We will kill 2 Gek with 1 blast. Okay. So this is a timed mission to get to a particular terminal fast enough. Now you do not have to use your Exocraft at this point to do it. If you don't think you're going to make it in your Exocraft, use your ship like I did a moment ago. And that's largely going to depend on the terrain on the world that you're doing it on. If your terrain is stupidly rocky, just take your ship. Okay. So, it's going to make me slightly faster, but not by a whole lot. If you fail this mission, you can just come back to your guy. Right, 3.5 minutes. So, I'm just going to get in my ship instead. Where's he gone? Where has my ship gone? Right, so I would have had to have driven my Exocraft across all this. Now if I'd fully upgraded my Exocraft already, this would have been a piece of cake. In fact, I probably could have done that really easily anyway, that's really quite close by. But as you can see in your ship, it's a complete doddle. It's a cakewalk. Still got almost 3 minutes left. There is no sky in which we cannot find you, no system to which you might flee unscathed. Hide then in the depths of this galaxy, for we are patient. Says Viking High Command do not like my Exocraft guy at all. Whatever crime he's committed, they want to track him down. Know that your spawn wept like mule and geck as we cut them down, crikey. That we killed your consort as they fled, leaving the others behind to suffer. Where shall you find peace knowing these things? Right, so the Viking High Command killed his family. The message is not what I expected. The technician told me to receive a transmission from their family, but this, I must return and decide what to do. Before the transmission closes, I pull the Exocraft mining laser blueprint. Okay. I'm just going to leave my ship here, it's not exactly far to go. See, I might even have made it if I'd walked it. Might have made it in time. Okay, let's just get into my Exocraft. Yeah. Alright, I want my mining laser down here. Chromatic metal, magnetized ferrite, and 2 oxygen capsules. So, let's build some oxygen capsules. Done. Okay. Don't have anything else yet that we can put in there, no. Okay, what I'm going to do, now that I've built that, is I'm just going to get rid of all this nonsense I've got in my... I would put them in my storage containers, but as you can tell I've got storage containers full of everything already, so why bother? Keeping these 3 free for my my cadmium, emerald, and indium. Everything else is where I want it. These are extra, but whatever. Okay. Preparations are almost complete. Soon I will purge myself of the old life, of old attachments, to commit fully to what I must become. But even if I remember nothing, I must know, traveller. Have you retrieved the transmission? We are frenzied at my approach, excited. Whatever this transmission might contain, whatever system it has been sent from, it would seem to matter a great deal to the Viking. So, am I going to tell them the truth or not? Yeah, I always tell the truth. The technician tells me they are going to clean their mind to prepare for their holy task, but they remove all other thoughts. They wish to know what happened to their family. I must know, traveller. Tell me of what my consort said. Tell me of my spawn. Please, I have waited for so long. The technician was expecting to intercept a message from their consort and spawn, but instead I discovered their family had been killed, murdered by other Viking in retaliation for their heresy. As they stand before me, expectant and nervous, I do not know whether to tell them the truth. The truth that their family is dead, or lie that their family is happy. I'm telling them the truth. Sorry, it's a bit cruel, but truth is always the way to go as far as I'm concerned. Leave me, traveller. We Viking prepare for death our whole lives, but this... Who am I now to die with them, lost in the obliteration of time and memory? Thank you, friend, for what you have done. When we next speak, I will be reborn. And now let's speak. I am reborn without attachment. I can focus now, focus on what I must do. Grah, you will require a mining beam in the days to come. Construct one, and I will craft you a nomad exocraft befitting an acolyte of Null. The face is different beneath the eyes, beneath the soul. They have changed irrevocably. Where once they would insult me with meaningless threats, now they speak only of singular purpose. Where once they would be capable of happiness or grief, now they only care about their cult, their supposed purpose. The technician asks me to build an Exocraft mining laser, which I've already done, I believe. The world will change, it has to, traveller, or else all of this, everything we have done, it would have been for nothing at all. Alright, so I already built it right there. So just give it a moment to realise that. Have you built the mining laser? I hope you enjoy working with Viking technology. Nothing refines the design of a machine like using it in combat, even if that combat is against the Earth. Right, so now he's giving me the Nomad. This is our next Exocraft, which is much faster. Okay, so they want us to extract some magnetized ferrite from the ground, which our Exocraft mining laser would be able to do the pure ferrite from large rocks, and then we would refine it using our little refiners into magnetized ferrite. Alright. Right, this is where it all gets a little bit tricky. Alright, because it's such a small inventory, you have to really manage it well. So I'm going to put my engine stuff there, my signal booster stuff up here. I'm not going to bother with these three things. Alright, I'm going to put my mounted cannon on. Move it to there. So I'll just have a 2. And then we'll have 3 here for the actual mining laser, I guess. Yeah, they really need to add more slots to the Nomad, and there's another one that's got this exact same layout. I've forgotten which one it is, but yeah, there's not enough slots to fit in the things you really kind of do need. One thing you could do is just reduce the amount of upgrades that you're putting in there, so don't have 4 but maybe just have 3, but I don't really want to do that. I want more slots. Yeah, what colour do we want to make you? Let's make you nice and bright. Can't really see it in the dark right now, but whatever. Yeah, you can be Nada. Okay, save. Yes, I have the magnetized ferrite. Alright, so I've now got a slightly better signal booster. Alright, so this will allow us to see even more buildings. So ion batteries, microprocessors and chromatic metal. Alright, now I want that in all of my Exocraft, so I'll build that on my roamer in just a second. Yep, so he wants me to build it, but I've just built it anyway. I'm going to do it in this one as well. Oh. I'm going to run out of microprocessors at this rate. Okay. I have indeed. So someone called Nal visited this place. We shall uncover their final words. Use the upgraded signal booster to locate the abandoned structure. Bring the nanite clusters contained within, and they'll use it to forge another acceleration module to make our craft even faster. Tread carefully, traveller. In all abandoning things there grows a rot. Take the nanite clusters and leave before something notices your theft. Okay, so he's giving me a cannon module. Whoop-de-doo. Why are you making me return to you already? I haven't done it yet. Right, so I would scan for abandoned structure. Is it found an abandoned structure? Where is it? Okay. Yeah, but you're not showing me. Is it off planet? No, it's over there. God, they're so slow at stuff. I'm not going to bother. So you would go to the abandoned building, interact with the terminal there, and it would give you some nanites. This is probably because I've got such a large amount of nanites already that it's just advanced it. I think perhaps it doesn't expect you to have got nanites at this point for some reason. Taken communion with their ancestors. They know what they need to do. Right, a monolith next then, okay. Technicians serve their holy purpose, driven to obliterate their own personality in pursuit of this very day, this very moment. We do not know if the sacrifice will be in vain. Okay, so he's giving me a boost module. Let's go with that. Again, we're going to replace all of these anyway. Alright, so we need to go to the monolith, which is over there. That is some distance away. So once again, we're going to use my ship. Using the ship is the quickest and easiest way of completing these missions, but once you've put all your upgrades into the Exocraft, they get way faster. Especially if they're S-Class ones. And of course we're aiming only for S-Class ones really. So I'll show you both of these then. Actually have to pause a second. Count 30. Okay, I'm back. So this was for the previous step. Remember, don't touch the eggs. You're not ready for it yet. You would have interacted with the haunted terminal. It would have told you a little bit of a story. And it would have given you nanites like that. That's what that last bit of the mission would have been, had it not skipped ahead. So then this part of the mission. So we are once again at a monolith. In fact, it's the same monolith by the looks of it, as I've already used those ones up. I'm engulfed in its terrible truth. I see the words in the text of 1,000 tongues, in the ephemera of countless stars. I know that I heard the word of the Atlas where Herc had heard nothing. I witness events that occurred millennia before my awakening. I see two Vikings standing before a red glow, asking it of the universe. In their rage, in their impotent jealousy, Herc struck me from the mountain, and I saw the truth of what the monolith had said. That my end would be an awakening. That in this dream nothing should perish. I see a Gek and a Korvax waiting side by side before me, and before the vision ends, I see a vision of something I have not seen before, of something that does not belong in this or any place, of hatred, grief, despair, of something that is yet to come. Or so it would be until the coming of the last traveller, so it would be until the destruction of realities. Know this, the final testament of Narl. I see the end of time, the end of all things, and in that crimson light there is a figure, its hand held out before eternity. I see all this, and then it is over. The monolith has nothing more to show me. I leave, shaken by my experience. As I go, I feel something right behind me, breathing, watching. When I turn, it is gone.
Now protection falling. Technology recharge.
I do really wish I'd been buying upgrades for the Exocraft. I could have done this without the ship. And it's a lot more fun that way. I envy you, traveller, to see the words of Narl itself. With this discovery you have vindicated the actions of 1,000 martyrs, traveller. You deserve your reward. You deserve the Colossus, the largest Exocraft in my arsenal. Use it and strike terror upon our enemies. The monolith I discovered proves that this history is a lie. Narl was honoured with a vision, whilst Herc had been met with only silence, and in their jealousy Herc murdered Narl. Yes, I am left with questions. I am left thinking of the creature I felt watching me. I am left with dread. The technician offers me the Colossus Geobay schematic. The technician passes me the schematic, as they do, their eyes beam with pride and sadness. So basically the Viking worship a Viking from way back in the day called Herc, thinking that he's their great leader, when actually he was just a murderer. I have transmitted Narl's testament to my brother and traveller. What you have learnt this day will spread amongst the Viking, and it will change our people for the better. Grah. And if violence is required for change, so be it. As for you, you are not as pathetic as I once believed. You are no longer interloper. You are one of us, now until the end of time itself, enthroned in the glory of the Colossus. Okay, so now we build our Colossus. This one we are definitely going to make green. Okay, so as you can see, the Colossus has a very large amount of room. I forget what was the way that I did this. I've totally forgotten. I think it was engine and those. Yeah. So the Colossus, you can afford to put these on because there's plenty of spaces, and I'm going to put all three on. I'm going to put my scanner stuff here. Okay, then we've got our cannon.
Technology installed.
And our acceleration. Okay, that's the lot. So, acceleration modules, there actually, sorry, there. Fusion engine, there. Mining laser, there. And cannon, there. I think that's right. I forget. I did have a very specific way of doing it, but I've kind of forgotten it. I have indeed. Right, this is another blueprint. So one that you can repeatedly build and delete at will. Requires pugnium and chromatic metal. Let's match them with the Exocraft. Now once I've got my S-Class upgrades there, I'll move that down to there. So it's boosting the S-Class rather than the laser itself. So get more out of it that way. So again, it would be sending me to an abandoned building to get some nanite clusters, though I suspect it's going to, auto complete me there.
Technology installed.
And I'm not going to do it in here because there's not exactly a great amount of room to do it. Maybe for now. But I'll take that out when I get some S-Class upgrades because they will most likely do me a lot better than those stats.
Thermal protection falling.
Okay, so it's now giving me the final signal booster. Which requires gold, chromatic metal and 2 ion batteries. All of which I've got. Right, so I can now scan for just about everything, building wise, from my particular Exocraft. So yeah, at this point we would have to build the Nomad Geobay if we hadn't already done that, which is the fast one, or the faster one, this one. I've already done it in here. Oh shit. The monitor's got different things. Oh no, I'm out of chromatic metal. Whatever shall I do? It's still not enough. What did I need? Another 25. Yeah. Okay, so we're building up quite a collection of Exocraft here, but there's still more. Okay, so from now on, this guy will give us missions to go to various different locations, but it's just a repeatable mission at this point for various rewards, but we don't actually need to be doing it. Okay, our archives have completed, so let's get our next bit. Saw another one of them today on the space station. They looked at me like I wasn't there, stared right through. It was just a gek when I returned, imagining things. Okay, the appearance modifier. So now I can build the appearance modifier on my base. Yeah. Right, allowing me to, if I wire it up. It's a bit messy. Allowing me to change my appearance on my base without having to go to the anomaly or the space station to do it. Okay, so as you can see, we have completed our base building missions. There's just an Exocraft missing. Let me think about this. Which one is it? So we've got our submarine, our Exomech. Ah yes, the I wonder if it's in here anywhere. It's not in here. I guess we must have to unlock it ourselves. It's a motorbikey one. So I'll come back later once I've upgraded it all and I've bought the motorbikey one, and I'll do another video on all of that. Thank you for watching, and congratulations on completing the base missions. Goodbye. Okay, so I'm on the anomaly to get the remaining bits of my Exocraft stuff, so let's have a look. Our upgrades, so we've got high power sonar for our submarine later. This is going to get annoying. And some other upgrades for it. It's going to keep booting me out, this is going to be very annoying. I think I've figured it out. Nope, maybe not. Okay, for our normal Exocraft we have this Icarus fuel system, which is the basically recharger version of the fusion engine. So just like we've got on our ship, where it will recharge our launch thrusters, it's the same for the Exocraft there. And we've got our 4 different elements that we want to protect ourselves from. We've got to install these in our Exocraft to gain that protection while we're in the Exocraft. So. It's exceptionally annoying that it boots us out sometimes. Sometimes not, sometimes it does. Okay, down here we've got monitor stuff, right, for our Exomech. Monitor Exomech. Here we have reduces the fuel burn for when we're jumping and stuff. Here we've got the radar for the monitor. Allows us to scan for buildings and stuff. Here we've got the laser so that we can actually start shooting at stuff.
Item received.
We've got our precision laser. Our cannon. And our cannon upgrade. The ball. Oh no, sorry, the terrain manipulator basically for the monitor. Okay, so I do believe that's everything from EOS here. Yep. Alright, so now we're just going to go over to this computer over here. Just buy a few Exocraft related things. Right, so our summoning station. Alright, so basically this oh, I haven't got any salvage data on me. I'm going to have to come back in just a minute, but I'll go through what these are then. The summoning station you can build on a planet, and then anywhere in that system you can call any of your Exocraft. You don't have to be building the individual things every single time, just this, and it allows you to call any of them. And you've got your Nautilon as your submarine. Now we will be unlocking that later anyway, but I will buy this now just for the sake of upgrading it before we start the Dreams of the Deep mission. Here we've got the Pilgrim motorcycle, which is what I came up here to get in the first place, and I forgot to bring salvage data with me. So that's the last of the Exocraft, which we didn't unlock in the missions there. Race initiator, so you can make races for the Exocraft, complete with some ramps and stuff. And then this one right here, this is the key one that you want. This you build in your freighter once you've got a freighter as a room, right? And it allows you, as long as your freighter is in the system, so you call your freighter there first, right? You can call any of your Exocraft, right? So it's super easy. You won't have to build anything ever again. You just have to call your freighter into the system that you're in, and then call your Exocraft, whichever one you want. Any of them. You can call them all if you want. So this is your thing you're aiming for here, the Orbital Exocraft Materializer. And yeah, that's it really. We unlocked all of the agriculture stuff a minute ago with the agriculture missions, and that's it. Okay, thanks for listening. I'll add a little bit more onto the end of this video in just a little while, just explaining about the module layout in the Exocraft to make them really, really good. Okay, so we've got another bit of our base archives mission waiting, so let's just do that. Having great success with advanced materials, able to far more efficient synthesis. It seems I can create pathway to materials from all over the system. Medium refiner. Okay, so yep, get on with it. So we can now craft a medium refiner. Remember we crafted a large one before. This one is a medium, which I do not have the dihydrogen jelly for. Okay, so the medium refiner can refine 2 separate items to make something new. The large refiner, if you remember, can do 3. Okay, so to talk you through what I did with my Exocraft then. So first the Colossus, which really is extremely large, and I've glitched into. Okay, so what we have here is we have the Icarus fuel system, which we've bought from the Anomaly, which recharges the fusion engine. right? Just like our recharger on our ship. So this is the layout that we've got. We've got the 5 of them together there for the engines. We've got the 4 acceleration modules together. We've got 4 cannons. We've got the 5 mining lasers, so that's the 3 upgrades, the actual tech and the upgrade for the tech. We've got our 3 signal boosters over there and our 3 suspensions over here. And then what we've got here are the 4 different weather protections that we bought up on the anomaly. So these will prevent all damage from a toxic environment, from a radioactive, freezing or hot environment. So this Colossus is now completely immune to all of the weathers because I've got all 4 of them in there. Up here I've got ready for when I've got my for when I build my submarine. I've got the upgrades I need for it. So that's 3 cannons and 3 Humboldt drive, which is just the equivalent of pulse drive basically, or of fusion engines. Okay, so that's the Colossus. Okay, the Monitor, remember, has its own tech that's different to all the other Exocraft. So it has also got the Icarus fuel drive, so we put that in there too. And these are different versions of the engines and the 3 upgrades for it. So this one's called the Daedalus engine, and this is the blueprint upgrade, self-greasing servos for that. We've got the precision monitor laser. We've got the normal monitor laser there, which yeah, oh yeah, that's the upgrade for that. Yeah, that's right. So the precision is the upgrade for the monitor laser. Then you've got your monitor cannon and the 3 upgrades for it. You've got your monitor bore, which is the terrain manipulator. You've got the boost, the environment protection, so that's all 4 environments in one protected, and the radar, that's all 3 radars in one. Okay, so that's the layout for the monitor. Okay, that's what you're aiming for. Then we've got our roamer, and this is what you're aiming for with your roamer. Now this is a little annoying because this is all the tech, yes, and their upgrades. However, there's no space left for any items that you might mine in it. So if you are going to use the roamer to mine anything, which presumably you are because you've put the laser and the cannon in, what you might want to do is remove some of the cannon and laser stuff. Maybe you want to just go with just the mining laser and get rid of the cannon altogether, or maybe you only want the cannon and you want to get rid of the mining laser altogether, or you could just delete a couple of the upgrades. Maybe you think it's a bit overpowered, it doesn't need all of that. Okay, but you will need to keep the weather protections, you will need to keep the signal boosters really. I mean, you don't necessarily have to use the roamer to find buildings with, but it's very handy. And we've once again got the Icarus fuel system recharging our fusion engines, and we've got our acceleration modules and our 3 suspensions. So you might decide you don't need the suspensions and get rid of them 3 instead. It's up to you what you want to get rid of, but this is the basic layout that you are aiming for. And until they add some extra slots, which they really should, this is what you're stuck with, and you've got to delete something to be able to pick any materials up. Okay, which leads us on to the 2 tiny inventories. Right, these are identical on inventory size. This, which is rubbish, right? But what I've done is I've put different things in each of them. Okay, so the Nomad, this thing, by the way, skims across the water rather than sinking into the water like all the rest of them do. But in the Nomad I've got the scanners. You've always got to have your fusion engines and your acceleration really. I've got my Icarus fuel system again recharging, and I've only got 1 upgrade for the mining laser. Okay, and I've put in the toxic and radioactive protection. Right, now you might decide to get rid of a couple of these specifically so you've got space for the things you want to mine again. So same as before with the roamer, you may need to delete something, but it's up to you what you want to delete. This is the basics that you're working with, and you might decide that actually you'd rather have another mining laser upgrade and sacrifice fusion engine or something, or maybe you think the Icarus fuel system isn't needed in your Exocraft. Maybe you don't use your Exocraft enough to need it, or maybe you get plenty of organic elements anyway and you want to sacrifice that. It's up to you, but this is the basic design, and the remaining one, our motorbike Pilgrim, is essentially the same, only I've got the drift up here instead of the scanners, the suspensions, and I've changed the two to the cold and hot instead of toxic and radioactive. What I've also done is, instead of giving it a laser, I've given it a cannon, and the cannon's upgrade. Okay, so again, you can edit this however you feel the need to. Just bear in mind that I have picked out the box here because that gives us a lot more adjacency bonus. So if I took one of them away, we're losing a lot in adjacency bonus. Alright, which is why I've chosen to keep them as both the fusion engine and the acceleration as a proper square there. But it is entirely up to you what you want to do to edit these designs. So I'm just going to run through them all again in case anybody wants to take a picture or whatever of the layouts. So this is the Pilgrim motorbike, and this is the layout for it. Again, they're all on my Facebook /groups NMS resources. That group has them all in a nice handy diagram along with everything else technology wise, how best to lay them all out. Okay, so this is the Nomad design. Okay. We have our roamer. Okay, so remember again, you might want to delete one or two things, probably the suspensions, depending on whether or not you want to use this in a race-like capacity. And then you've got the ones we've got plenty of space in, thank God. Is our monitor. This is the layout that you want. There's currently no upgrades for the thruster system. You obviously don't need upgrades for the environmental control because it's already all 4, and the radar's already all 3, so you don't need upgrades for them. I don't know why there's not upgrades for the thrusters, but whatever, it doesn't seem to really need it because it jumps a mile anyway. Let's very quickly show you what we mean by that. Alright. That was one jump, and I wasn't even running. Alright, so 2 jumps. If I look back towards base, wherever it's gone, so I can't even find it anymore. There it is. Arrive in 2.5 minutes. So I've just done more than 300 units of a jump. Alright, let's have a look. Is that right? Well, arrive in a minute and a half if I get out. If it'll let me. Why can't I get out? There we go. Yeah, so 150 U per jump. That's pretty decent. You see what I mean? That's quite dramatic. So then, finally, our Colossus design leaves us with plenty of spaces up here. I'm not going to build the Nautilon just yet because that's going to be a video for Dreams of the Deep mission. I will show you all about the Nautilon submarine at that point, and we'll talk a lot about underwater. Okay, thank you for watching, and well done for completing the base missions. I hope you feel that that was well worth it. There's still a lot more on the base archives to unlock, where we just keep going back to our base computer. but those will continue to be unlocked throughout the rest of the videos. I'm not going to do them all at the end of this video, it seems a bit silly. But yeah, there's plenty more to unlock with that. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, I've got another hour and 19 minutes before I can interact with that again. So yeah, that'll be in future videos. Hope you all have a good day. Goodbye. Okay, so just a slight edit. I went and checked my guide for the best tech layouts on Facebook/groups/NMS resources, and I made a few decisions to edit a few things on the Exocraft slightly differently to how I showed you a minute ago. So I've done this with my Pilgrim, right? So I've still got my suspensions up here, but I've reduced my engine and my acceleration to just one mod for each. I've got the one mod for the mounted cannon. Still kept my fuel system, my Icarus fuel system, so it's recharging the fusion engine, but it's meant that I can put all four on of the environment protections and still have two spaces for collecting resources in, because that's the whole point of having a cannon. We need spaces. Okay, I've done a similar thing on the Nomad, except I've got the boosters up there instead, and of course I've kept the mining laser instead of the cannons, right, but it's otherwise the same. So I've got the boosters, the signal boosters instead of the suspension, I've got the mining laser instead of the cannons. I've kept these two spare. Okay, I can't remember if I did anything differently in these. Yeah, I just moved these around to make it a little bit neater. So that's your slightly neater version there. So it's all the same stuff. I think I took the suspensions out. I think they were up here somewhere, because I figured I'd rather have the 3 slots for some resources than have the suspensions in. But yes, that's the best possible layout for the Roma. Okay. I don't think I changed anything about my Exomech. Oh yes, I did. Yeah, I just moved it around so that we had a nice convenient 9 slots here. It just looks a little neater than it did before. So that's your final layout for the Monitor. Just give you a few seconds to look at that. Again, all of this is on Facebook/groups/NMS for No Man's Sky resources. NMS resources. Okay, Colossus, again I just moved it around slightly, I think. Don't really remember where these were when I filmed the last bit yesterday. But yeah, that's your final design there. Ignoring the upgrade modules at the top, obviously. So your Colossus leaves you with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 spaces for collecting resources in, even after you've added literally every technology to it. Okay, so that's your Colossus. Any more? No, that's it. So we'll just finish off our computer archives. I think this might be the last of the ones that actually give us a particular blueprint. Let's have a look. Oh no, I think we've still got a few. Oxygen harvester there. Okay, so again this is one of the ones that doesn't work particularly well anymore. Okay, and we'll leave. Yeah, because it's been replaced. It's this one. It's been replaced with the industrial mining, so I would actually want me to harvest it. Create it. 3 dihydrogen jelly and 5 oxygen capsule. Okay. The archives have gone to 5 minutes because I put a mod on to speed it up specifically so that I can show you the rest of it in this video, hopefully. So what can we do in the meantime? I'll show you how the oxygen harvester works. You literally put some carbon or condensed carbon in there, and it will just collect oxygen. It's quite simple, really. I suppose while we're waiting for 5 minutes, we might as well find a nearby hotspot. So we're looking for a mineral resource by the looks of it. So remember, we're doing this because we've installed the the name of the scanner, but a analysis visor on our multi-tool. So it makes us able to find these hotspots. Right, that one's a B-class dioxide. Alright, so that's a mineral harvester. Go into industrial, and we just whack down a mineral extractor. So I need chromatic metal. Of course, my starship's out of range. Okay, and naturally we'll need to power it in a minute, but let's build a few more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step away a little bit. I'm going to go into build camera. So if you're using a controller, that's you just smack your left analog stick, and on PC, I am actually playing on PC, but I'm using a controller. I can't remember what it is on PC. You have to look it up. But yeah, this being in build camera mode makes it a little easier to line them up when you don't put them on a slope like I just stupidly did. A lot of people tend to put some flooring down just so that it's guaranteed to be flat that you're building on, and it also makes it easier to space them out exactly right. And I'll give you a mini breakdown on how we would usually extend our base boundary. No. Connected the wrong thing there. Okay, so let's just wire it up. Where's our base? That's not going to let me in broad camera mode, is it? We'll wire it up in a second. But yeah, you also need to supply pipe it together. Okay. Now, once we connect this up to the mains, don't need connection too long on me. Alright, so if your connection gets too long, just send it halfway and then continue. Alright, so you see what I did there was I stopped it right there and then just continued on again. Okay. Alright, so if we go back over here now, you will find that these four are extracting them. We've got 10 minutes left on the cycle, and they're extracting 365 per hour. Alright, so every hour it will add 365 each to there, totaling 1,450 an hour. Okay, and these extractors by themselves can store 250 each, so that it stores up to 1,000 because there's 4 of them. If we'd found a better class, it would be extracting it quicker and more of it. Right, so now I'll show you what I do at all of my bases. Alright, is near my base I put a single silo. Oh, supply depot, sorry. Silo, whatever you want to call them. Alright, I need a lot of metal plating first. Maybe not enough. Seriously? I've not got enough ferrite dust. Really? Let's just bring some metal plating out. Okay, so I place a single supply depot. Let's just get the other. Oh. Okay, so gave me an upgrade module, a movement module, purely because whatever it was going to give me I already have. Okay. Right, so where is it? I've built myself a silo. Alright, I'm going to go into build camera mode. It's over there. Right, I'm going to go as far as I can towards it before the build camera stops me, which is there, which should be 50 units, and then I'm going to place it. Alright, I'm going to wire it up, or pipe it up I should say. Alright, and if I was far enough from, if I was right at the edge of my base, so I was 300 units from my base computer, alright, from there, I'm not, I'm only 50 units, but if I was 300 units away, placing that silo would have given me another 50 units. Alright, so now I come to this silo, alright, stand right next to it, go into build camera mode again, and do the exact same thing again, head towards my hotspot, and place it down. Okay. I'm out of ferrite dust. How can I possibly be out of ferrite dust? I mean, really. Is that not? Okay, so again, we'll wire it up, pipe it up even to that one. Okay, we'll go stand next to the supply depot. Build camera mode. As far as it will let us go towards our hotspot, which is there. Place. And pipe. Really 50 units. Doesn't seem very long a distance. I'm sure you can go a lot further than that. Let's just check something. A bit on, yeah. That was the wrong thing, wasn't it? I wanted was a signal booster, right? Oh, I don't even know if it was what I wanted, or did I? Totally lost track. Ah, there we go. Right, so that. Right, how far away is it? It's really annoying. Alright, I'll figure it out in a minute. Okay, and I'm close enough now, so I'm just going to pipe it up then. So, pipe it up to one of them. Alright, and now if you have a look, we got 5,000 storage. Alright, so these extractors are still extracting the same amounts as they were previously, but we've added a whole bunch of storage because that's added 1,000, and that's added 1,000, and that's added 1,000, and finally this one's added 1,000. Yeah? Now I'm just checking that this is actually 50 units and I'm not going completely insane. Yeah, it is, yeah. So 50 units is about that distance. Okay. Now you can travel away from your base computer, you can walk away, extending your base like this. Well, you can go to 300 units away from your base computer. Alright, that's just naturally the space that your base computer makes a base in. Alright, but from the 300 units you can extend like this all the way out to 1,000 units, but then you can't walk away any further without your build menu closing. Alright, all of this will close up. Right, so at that point you can still use your build menu to go one last 50 units away. So the most you can build away from your base computer is 1,050 units. Okay. Let's just pick up these booster stuff. Basically only laying them to try and judge the 50 units stuff, but we've done that now. Okay, so base computer archives again. I'm hoping this is the last main one. Don't think we're actually anywhere near. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, landing pad. Yay! Finally. Okay, so our landing pad is our last one. Just going to need to take some ferrite dust out then to make some. Is it 10? God, I need more. Okay, so I've got 10 metal plating. What else did I need? Oh, alright, you're not done with me. Okay, fine. We also need 2 microprocessors, which requires chromatic metal, of course. Okay, so let's build a landing pad right here. Okay, now the landing pad sometimes is a bit iffy if you try to build it just normally like this. So again, build camera is your friend. Alright, you can snap it to stuff if you're in build camera. It's really difficult to snap it to stuff. See how that's snapping? It's really difficult to snap it to stuff if you are just trying to do it on foot. See how that's snapping to doorways and windows and stuff. Right, well, I'm just going to be boring and just place it there. I'm fine with that. Okay, so now at this point the base computer archives do a new sort of set. So now instead of it being an hour and a half, it's every 6 hours, and it will do that a few times. And you should keep doing those ones. It will keep awarding you some stuff. Just nothing majorly important. But once it hits 24 hours wait each time, then you can stop doing it altogether. Okay? Because at that point, it's just a repeatable mission to get nanites and stuff. Alright, so keep doing these until it hits 24-hour waits. Right, now again, it's only saying 5 minutes at the moment, but that's only because I put that mod on so I could show you getting the landing pad basically. So we're done with the first of 3 sections with the base computer archives, and the first section is the one that awards you all the important stuff. Right, so once you've got your landing pad, you're done with the first part. second part is every 6 hours, and then the third part is 24 hours, repeatable forever. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. So yeah, I'm going to end this video now, and hope you all have a happy day.